welcome to the DoubleACS Daily News. On Monday, people throughout the country remembered the contributions of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., including those here in the Attleboro area. The Greater Attleboro MLK Committee held their 37th annual municipal event at Attleboro City Hall, followed by an interfaith service at the Evangelical Covenant Church. The keynote speaker was Kalila Barnett, Climate Resilience Program Officer at the Barr Foundation. This year's theme was The Nature Gap, Bridging the Racial Divide in Outdoor Spaces. Here's a short part of her presentation.
There is no silver bullet that's going to teach us how we better care for one another. It takes practice. George Day is a Ghanaian-Canadian anthropologist at the University of Toronto, and he says inclusion is not just bringing people into what already exists. It's making a new space, a better space for everyone. And I just loved this as a way to think about how to bridge the divide. One simple tool that I want to leave you with around how you can begin or continue this work with one another is a series of questions you can ask yourself when you're planning a meeting, designing a park, holding a service, writing policy. It applies to so many contexts. So the first question is, who is benefiting from the decisions you are making? Who is benefiting from the decisions you're making? One of the projects that we support at the Barr Foundation is a mini grant program that's administered by our regional planning agency. And it provides support to municipalities to do an assortment of different types of climate resilience projects. And in addition to the funds, the communities receive coaching support, technical assistance with their projects, and a community of practice. So that is a group of them get together to reflect on how things are going, challenges, etc. And so during a site visit a couple of years ago, I asked one of the municipal staff for some reflections on what they had done. And she told me that she was a town planner and engineer, I can't even remember exactly. And she told me that through her work on this project, she realized that she had been planning her municipal projects for people just like her. People who are white, who are middle class, who are educated, who had regular cars to drive. And even though this is just a small mindset shift, I loved it so much. Because when we see the world only through our own lens, and we carry out our work only through our own lens, we miss things, and we miss other people. The second question is, who is being harmed by the decisions that you are making? Who is being harmed? Sometimes we think our good intentions are enough, but they are not. We may be unintentionally creating barriers that exclude rather than include. So instead of focusing on our intentions, let's think about what our intended impact should be. The third question is, who is influencing the decisions you are making? For me, this question brings up ideas about accountability and in whose interests are we working? Who are we listening to when we're trying to make these decisions? It's not enough just to consult data or literature, even though I love data and literature, to assume how a proposal might impact a community. You actually have to talk to people. You actually have to listen to them. Number 4, who is making the decisions? Who is making the decisions? Are the people who are most impacted being included? Are we sharing power, or are we just asking for a rubber stamp from the community? How can we be better at making sure those who are most impacted get centered in how we move forward? And then the final question, for each of those questions, you want to ask, how do you know? What evidence do you have that this is the right direction to go in?